I'm on my phone again. Oop, did I do that? Did you do that?
No, I did it.
Okay, I'm like, what button
Hello,
did I hit?
hello.
Hello, hello. I'm on my phone again, ladies. So,
So
because
am I.
I don't have my office area set up yet, and I
You
just
have
don't have the.
pictures on your wall already?
I have everything. Everything is up. Everything is up. Everything is decorated. Everything is unpacked except for I don't have pictures on my bedroom wall. I have the shelf and everything decorated, but I don't have everything like hung on my bedroom wall or my bathroom wall. But yes, everything in the living room is up. It's decorated. Like when I say I've been working for 30 days straight because I got the whole place like as it needs to be.
Wow,
So
you go, girl.
yeah, so like everything's hung on the walls, all the shelves are up, everything's on the shelves. Because I didn't want to go into like the new year with the box, like what the hell's in this box? What
I
what the
know.
hell's in this box?
I'm still in boxes. It'll be 2 years in February.
Well, and I have a tendency to do that, and I didn't want to do
So
that
you
this
know
time.
that about yourself.
I
Yeah.
100% know that about myself, and I was like, Nikki, that's bullshit. You cannot keep doing that. So this time I was like, because this is our, what is this, Kathy? Our fourth move in 6 years. So
Wow.
I'm like, this time we're hoping to stay here long term, and I'm like, this has to stop. So it was
Good.
like I want to have a place where everything has a place. Like
Mm-hmm.
I want it to be where like I can take something out and be like, oh, I can actually put that back because it
Put that
actually
away.
has a place. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
that's what
Good.
I'm aiming for this time. So let me just unplug me. That okay, so that's the goal. I'm not the most organized person, so that's the goal for this house is to like, okay, it has a place. Nikki, like put it back in its damn place. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, that's my picture wall. I got a bunch of prints and I actually got those from Timu and they just came as prints. So I had all this cardboard and I took the cardboard and I cut it and I spent a day making backing and I hot glued the prints to the backing and I made my own backing so it makes it look like they're canvas prints and then we hung them to the on the wall with that
That
alien
looks
face.
great.
Thank
Mm-hmm.
you. So it
That
looks
looks
like a
really
really
nice.
expensive looks like an expensive wall, but it's about a $35 wall. So
But it does look great. Good.
well, thank you. So,
You're
yeah,
welcome.
that was one of my projects that I did. But so yeah, but thank you, Kim. Thank you. So I'm kind of crafty that way. I hate it, but when you're on a beer budget and you have champagne taste, you figure out the ways to make it look cute within your ability. So that's one of my things that I've done. But yeah, so thank you. That's been part of the push with this. Everybody's been like, you don't have to do all that. I'm like, I do because I know myself. And if I don't do it now, Kathy kept saying, Nikki, take a day of rest. I'm like, if I take a day and rest, I know that I'll be like, I can take 5 days and rest. And then it'll be like, I can take 5 years and rest. And I knew I just needed to push and get it done. And so it's almost done and it'll be okay. So yeah. So you guys all did it. Christmas is over. You made it. You survived it. Raise your hand if you raise your physical hand if you did better than you thought you were going to do. Idri's like, I don't know about all that.
I
I'm
think
talking about with grief, with the grief aspect, not with
um
family, not with
no,
family, but with grief.
I got you. But I'm one of those people that if I'm idle for too long, then I go down the rabbit hole. Um
That means that grief is your
so
default, and you have to change the default, Andrew.
so I keep busy as busy can get, and everybody gets the wonderful Andrea. And if I'm home doing absolutely fucking nothing, then I go down that rabbit hole. So
Okay. Well, then we're
one,
going to address
you know,
that.
I
With,
can deal with the holidays. This is not my first holiday that I've been able to sustain myself, but then the days before the holidays, the days after the holiday, as a teacher, I'm out for 2 weeks, and I can tell you they fucking suck. Okay.
here's the deal, though.
So
Andrea, listen to me. Here is the deal, though. That means grief is the default, and being busy is only a means of avoidance. That means that there is healing to be done, because if grief is your default and being busy keeps it at bay, but when you're idle, it comes back, it means that there has to be consistent work in your healing. Because if you're sitting idle and it comes back and you go down a rabbit hole, there's healing to be done there. Because if it's coming back while you're sitting idle and you're going down a rabbit hole, then that is time that instead of going down a rabbit hole, you can be using that to work on your healing instead of going down a rabbit hole. You get a choice in that time. Now, that being said, there can be within that time, some of that has to be used obviously to purge pain, because there's obviously some grief that has to come up to be worked through, right? That needs to come out. And you have a lot of other stuff going on too. So, something I would advise you to do, there may be stuff obviously that's going on, stressors in your life that you're having grief over. And it may be time to look at those components and see what pain you're purging, because it may not all be about Nicholas. It may be that he's the default, but it's like the mom and dad stuff, the family stuff, all of this stress that's bringing it out in you. But it may be that you're so used to him being the default that you pin it all on that, but it may not actually be that. That's something that we have to look at, guys. Is the grief over your child the default? And so you may have all this stress and all this grief that has to do with all this other bullshit, but you're pinning it on your child loss grief because that is the biggest grief you've known, when it may not have anything to do with that. I've seen this with clients time and time and time and time again, where child loss grief becomes the default. And then when we really get into the nitty gritty of it, we start dissecting it, deconstructing it. They've come to realize that, you know what? I'm actually at a good place in my relationship with my child. But what they do is this is going on, and this is going on, and this is going on, and this is going on. And my kid is dead. So they pile it on, and it takes them back to their loss of their child. And that grief becomes the default. And what's really happening is they're pissed off because they're taking care of their parent. They're pissed off because they don't like their job. They're pissed off because their finances aren't going great. They're pissed off because their car broke down. Pissed off because they don't like their job. All of this other stuff is going on, and it takes them back into the default of their grief, when really they're in a good healing space with their child, and they're pissed off and mad and sad and angry about the rest of their life. But it feels kind of invalid compared to what they've been through in the past. So they skip all that bullshit and they pile it on to their default grief. Does that make sense? How many of you felt like you've done this before? Raise your real hand. Totally normal thing in grief. It's something that it's a level of healing that we can work on. I've done it before. I did it until I realized I was doing it. And I was like, holy crap, like this is a huge thing we do as bereaved parents. I think it's a huge thing that we do as society. It becomes the default. So when I work with private clients, one of the levels we work with is grief as the default, child loss grief as the default, right? You have to start stopping yourself, separating that my trauma, my loss of my child has nothing to do with everything else that's going on in my life, right? So, Andrea, let me ask you, because I know you're going through a ton in your regular daily life right now, and tons of family stuff and shadow work and generational trauma, and you're the breaker of that. Yay. It's good. It's a great job that we signed up for with the generational curse breaking. Woohoo. Let me ask you, You take the default of the quote unquote child loss out of it, take that out of it. Do you still feel grief over your current situation?
Yeah.
Yeah, you do. So let's separate it. Let's separate it. It doesn't have to be a rabbit hole back into what you've been through with Nicholas, okay? We can separate it. What you're going through right now can be just as debilitating without adding on what you've already been through, okay? Guess what? It was debilitating when Nicholas was still in body, wasn't it? Pain in your ass, even when he was still in body, was it not?
Yeah.
Pain in your ass while you were growing up, was it not?
Yeah.
Pain, it's like you're the generational curse breaker. So this has been an ongoing thing. So let's not
I just feel like I'm always the one. I'm always the fucking one.
you are. You know why? Because you are the generational curse breaker, darling. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to cry it out and I want you to kick and scream. Girlfriend, I was doing the same thing night before Christmas Eve. I was having a tantrum. My little inner broken inner child girl was sitting in my bedroom just a crying, having a fit. Ask Kathy. I was like this fucking bitch out in my living room. My mother, oh my God, kicking. I was kicking and screaming like, why am I the one? Why am I the one that has to break this generational curse? Why am I the one? Why am I the one? I reached out to a friend of mine and I was like, why am I the one? And and it's a friend of mine from high school. And she said, she kept having to say, Nikki, it's her, not you. It's her, not you. It's her, not you. For 2 hours, she kept saying, it's her, not you. You know this. You're wise. You know this. And she said, she's triggered your inner child. You're the generational curse breaker. So I want you to go in and I want you to start reading up on generational curses, generational curse breakers, because you're sucked into the 3D right now, girl. And you got to get a good handle on what the broader perspective of this is. Okay? You got to get your spirit engaged here, get a bigger picture of what the broader perspective of this is.
Yeah,
All
it's
right.
harder. It's harder to do when you have your living hell living with you.
It absolutely is. God bless your heart, because
Ah,
I got to send Robin back to her campground 2 hours away, and she only comes to Florida once a year.
and
You
don't
know,
get me wrong, I love my parents, but
I
and
know.
I'm the eldest of five, and I am the only one stepping up. And you would think that my four other siblings would realize, holy shit, she has enough. But no,
No,
they just
here's,
all just wash their hands clean of all bullshit.
but this is something I'm going to say to you too. And this is going to be a hard one to hear. What you allow is what will continue.
Mm.
Okay. Um, I want you to message me. Okay. Because this is going to be a hard one. But the thing that I want you to take away from tonight is this has to be separated, Andrea. You cannot take this and pile it onto Nicholas and make that your grief default. This situation is something completely different in your soul contract than what you've previously experienced with him. He's okay and you're okay. And in your grief of him, you've come a long way and you've done a ton of healing. Do not allow what you're experiencing now with the grief of your generational curse breaking part of your soul contract. Do not allow that to invalidate the healing that you've already experienced in your child loss grief, that healing. Don't mix and muddle those up, okay? They're two different journeys. Don't intertwine them so much that you backslide from the fight and the battle that you've already won as far as that first journey went. Can you try to do that for me? Can you
Yeah,
try to do that for you
yeah,
and for
no,
Nicholas?
I get it. It's I understand, and um, it's hard
It
to
is hard.
separate.
It is hard, especially when you get into a state of where, when you get into a state of victimhood, where you're like, why me? Why the fuck does this shit keep happening to me? Why am I the one being piled on? And then it spirals you into, and then it's my kid that died too. Like that's where it takes you. That's where it takes you. Kathy knows this. Kathy was living this. Were you not, Kathy? I'm gonna call you out and use you as the, because Kathy, I mean, literally ask Kathy. I was crawling through the phone with her for months, because she was going back into default. Weren't you?
And here's the reality, Andrea. And I love you. And I can say this to you because I was in the very same position. That shit ain't going to get no better until you decide you want it to get better. And then you're going to pull your head out of your ass like I pulled my head out of my ass, and you're going to make things better.
It's the hardest thing to do. We
It
packed up
is.
and moved from New York to South Carolina, and it breaks my heart not to see my son. I'm here. It was a week yesterday. All I do is cry now. I cannot wait to get out of the state, and I know it's hard. It's just so hard.
And
I
it's a
had
lot.
I had a total mental breakdown in July. I was suicidal ideation, the whole 9 yards. Why the fuck am I here? I have a dead kid. She was my only kid. I have a dead husband. He was the love of my life. Why am I still here? Why am I here alone? I don't want to fucking be here. I don't want to do this. I'm tired. Just fucking make it end. And I was way, way, way deep in it, Andrea. So I know where you are, sister. I know where you are. Different circumstances a little bit, but I know how you're feeling because I was right there. And thank God Nikki pulled me out of it. And it took her months and months, and she was ready to get on a plane and come to Cincinnati and kick my ass physically because I was that far down in it. And until I decided I wanted to feel better and I was tired of feeling like shit, none of it ever changed.
And part of where you're at, Andrea, and this is the hard part, is that because yours has to do with people around you as well, and this sucks because she lives with you, it, it, and part of Kathy's had to do with people that she didn't want to step up to, but it sucks, but it's about setting boundaries.
It
And it's
totally is.
terrible. It's about setting boundaries, and it pisses people off, and it makes them angry at you, and it makes you the bad guy, and it makes you look like the bitch, and it makes you look like the asshole. And they're not a one-off. You have to reset them, and you have to reset them, and these people belly up to you, and you have to reset them again. And it makes you look like an asshole. It makes you look like a terrible person, but that's what it amounts to. And
I know that a
it's
lot of this is situational. I can't. My daughter is graduating in May, and we're out of here. She, my mother might end up coming with me to Texas, but then there is a bigger house in Texas, so I can put her on one side of the fucking house, and I can be in another side of the fucking.
mhm.
But it's unfortunately my mother has always done this, and I know this. I learned that when I moved away from my family at 19, and the way I have dealt with my family is I come to Florida for about 6 weeks, and then fuck y'all, see you later. I don't have to deal with your bullshit. So I can pretend for 4 or 5 weeks, 6 weeks, whatever. Unfortunately, now this is our third year here. Part of it was because my daughter wanted to be here close to her cousins. I thought, she doesn't have anybody else, so let's go see, we'll be near cousins. That has turned into shit because all of my siblings, with the exception of one, have children, and they're all about her age. They're all teenagers. And ask me how many fucking times they call her and invite her out. Fucking zero. So as soon as she graduates, we're the fuck out of here. Unfortunately, with all of the bullshit that I deal with, you know, it's the pile on. You know, my mother is now living with me because of what's going on with my father, and everybody else. I just literally said in March I have to. Isabel has a senior trip that she's going away, and I'm chaperoning. So y'all are gonna have to figure out what to do with mom. I swear to God, they literally just like, oh, I can't have her at my house because X, Y, Z, and 1, 2, 3. And I'm like, well, I'm gonna drop her off at somebody's house, and you're gonna have to take care of her because she's almost blind. So it's not like I can just leave her by herself and 2 fucking dogs on the 3rd floor of the building. You know, no elevator. I mean, and they're all like, well, I'm too far away. I'm in Miami. Well, fuck. I was 800 fucking miles away, but I came down when she got
Well,
cancer.
Andrea,
When
what
she
would
fucking,
happen?
I mean, I'm just,
What would happen if you just told them a dollar amount? Okay, you can't take care of
oh, well,
mom.
no,
You need to
did.
contribute this many dollars so that I can hire a caregiver for mom while I'm away.
Oh, yeah, no, I told them either if you guys figure out a schedule on when to come see her during the day, or you're going to have to contribute to someone taking care of her that week. I did say that, but they all kind of like, you know, oh, well, Andrea will fucking figure it out because I always fucking do. I always figure it out. I never have asked them for fucking shit. On the contrary, I'm the one pulling their ass out of the fucking hole, and I'm sick of it. I'm tired of it. The way I dealt with it was like, well, y'all fucking don't have a clue on what to do. I'm fucking leaving. And I left. But, you know, now I have my mother who loves to throw guilt trips, you know. And I mean, earlier today, I had to go hide in my fucking room. I'm in my own fucking house and I have to go hide because it's are you mad at me? I'm sorry. I'm like, you know, what bothers me more is that you're constantly asking me if I'm mad at you. I'm not fucking mad at you. I don't fucking want to talk to you at 8 o'clock in the morning because I haven't had my fucking coffee. And don't, you know, I don't know how many times I have to tell her. I don't talk to people at the moment. My daughter does really well that she goes, are you okay to talk? She has learned. And you would think that by now, my mother's been with me for a couple of months, that she would have learned to be like, are you good to talk? Because, okay. And, you know, when she ignores me, I just move on with whatever I need to do. But it's the fucking guilt trips. I am fucking 51 years old, and you know, she's treating me like I'm 16. I don't know. I'm just too much bullshit. Too much
How
bullshit.
long? How long's it been since you've done a burn letter?
I'm gonna fucking burn the house if I do that. I can tell you that.
No, you need to sit down and you need to do a burn letter and you need to purge it all out so that you can get it all out before your head explodes or you do burn the house down. So we have to find a healthy way to get this out, or you're going to find that it starts to affect your physical health. You feeling it in your
Already
shoulders, are
has.
you? Yeah,
Oh,
already
fuck
has.
yeah.
So let's
Already
get it
has.
out. Sit down and do a burn letter, please. Spill it out spill it out on the paper with your mom and your siblings and spill it out about everything. If you can't burn it, then rip it up. All of it. Okay? Get it out. You have to get it out. Will you do that, please?
Yeah, gonna
Promise
have
me
to. Yep,
tonight.
tonight. Well, I don't
And
know if I can
Tonight.
do it. The burn.
and then go
burn
find
it.
yourself a smash room somewhere and fucking smash some stuff.
Yeah,
You're
Yeah.
for
laughing and I'm
real.
totally
No, no, no,
serious.
no. I'm laughing because yeah, I do.
Go smash some stuff, go to a driving range and hit some golf balls, go to a batting cage and hit some softballs, go to the thrift store and buy some dishes and throw them against a fucking tree. physical
Smash rooms are the
release. You
smash
need
rooms are the
physical
best,
release.
though. You do.
And the
And
smash rooms are ultra satisfying.
they
Highly
are.
recommend.
They are. So we have to get it out, and you have got to separate it. Do not sit and ruminate on it and go down the rabbit hole. This has absolutely nothing to do with the fact that your son left body. Nothing. It would be exactly the same way had he remained in his body. You would still be dealing with this. Okay. So when that thought starts to enter your mind, and my kid is dead, shut it down, because one has nothing to do with the other. Okay. You have a problem in front of you. It's time to deal with the problem, start healing from it. The first step to that is to do what we just told you to do. The first thing is you have to have some form of release. So let's get to writing it out and finding a healthy way to release this energy. So get to a smash room, get to writing it out, verbally releasing it that way. And I also want you to be doing some tapping for anger. You need to be tapping for anger because you've got a lot of it built up. We've got to get it released, or you're going to go postal, girlfriend. And it is not going to be pretty.
No.
For anybody.
No.
No. So
We don't want to read about you in the paper, Andrea.
we don't.
Oh,
I get-
no. 51-year-old women in Florida, you won't want to hear that.
And I'm not sure.
No,
I'm not
and
sure
I will see
WPU
it.
will. I'm not sure WPU will donate bail money, honey.
No. And I will see it. I will
No.
see it on the Tampa Bay Times. You know this, right? I will see it. So
Oh, fucking
you don't
shit.
go back to school tomorrow, correct? You're still on break.
No, I have another fucking week to write out. Yeah.
Okay, so no, how about this? I have another week to start working on this.
Yes,
So
yes.
tomorrow morning, find your ass a smash room, right? Get your ass in the car, drive 4 hours up here. I'll find you a smash room. I know where 3 of them are in my area. I still have pumpkins. I have junk in my other house. At the other house, I can put you in the backyard and you can smash it up for all I care. So I'll set you up a smash room in the backyard at the empty house. So you need to be doing a burn letter, tapping for anger, and smashing some stuff out. That is your assignment for the next few days.
Okay.
We do not want you coming into the new year bringing this energy in. Try to get some of it released so you can at least walk in with some clarity. Okay.
Yeah.
For the rest of you, if you're experiencing this default thinking, and most of you have raised your hand, you have to start to realize when you're doing the default. Debbie, you just came in. We're talking about grief being the default when you have other stuff that's happening in your life, and then you pile it on to going down the rabbit hole of grief, and then you say, and I also have a dead kid. Grief cannot always be your default.
Right.
Yeah. That hinders your healing, you guys. Okay, it hinders your healing, and that is a way that you can stunt your healing. How about the rest of you? How did you fare as far as grief went for the holiday? I know there was a lot of other stuff. It seemed like as far as grief went, y'all didn't really experience a lot of grief for the holidays. There was a lot of other outside stuff that seemed to happen. Right. So let's talk about it. Who wants to go next?
Yeah. Thank you for giving me the short briefing. So that's exactly what happened to me during Christmas. So a lot of things going on. Nothing really relate directly to me losing Matthew. It's more like the relationship problems. But then it make me fall into the self-pity. It's like I don't have Matthew anymore, and all the guilt and everything that hit me about losing Matthew, and it just make my real problem feel worse for me not having Matthew. Yeah, it make me in a bad mood like for a few days, but then I didn't talk with my spouse on that 3 days. But I used my anger energy to write down journal, and I work on my shadow work, and then I write down all the bad feeling and what's going on with it, and I try to understand what's really happening to me and everything. And I find out it's really nothing to do with Matthew. It's really,
Good. You
yeah.
separated it then.
It just that I kind of use my
Am I frozen?
situation, yeah, worse and make myself like a victim, like nobody understand me and everything. But I try to like raise above it, and then I just try to get some distraction. I write journal, and I start to write a little journal book about my my journey of healing, and I'm on chapter 2 right now. So I think it's kind of like good to use all the anger for something positive. And after
Mhm.
I do all that, and after I cry, after I write down my shadow journal, I feel a big, huge relief. Then I
Good.
understand better about myself, and I understand, oh, this the situation. This is not about Matthew, nothing to do with Matthew. This is about me and my spouse, and I have to work on it and everything. And I just try not to use Matthew as a reason or excuse, or me as a victim, or Matthew as a victim. Even though it does, all the bad situation make me feel worse that I cannot celebrate the holiday like I want it to be, because I'm busy fighting instead of celebrating. And I feel like I'm disappointed Matthew, because I want it to be like a huge celebration this year for him, because it's his first Christmas actually with us.
Right. But he doesn't feel disappointed. He doesn't
Yeah,
feel disappointment though, Debbie, because he doesn't have an
yeah,
ego. So that's another thing. You guys can't assign your earth emotions to your children. Okay.
right,
So
right,
don't assign your earth emotions to your children, because they
right,
don't feel emotion the way that you feel emotion. They don't have
right,
egos. So
right,
Matthew doesn't feel disappointment that you didn't have a huge celebration, because he knows that whatever you went through was there for a reason, because you needed to learn from that. Okay.
yeah, that's a
So,
really,
yes. So he knows that whatever happened happened with purpose, as long as you found the purpose in it. And it sounds like you did.
yeah, yeah, it's a struggle, it's not easy. But then I make it up by, when I have a good mood, I start turning on the music, Christmas music, and start to dance. And I imagine that Matthew's dancing with me. It's make me happy, and I hope Matthew's happy too. So I've been doing that lately, and then I think your suggestion to do the somatic dancing is
Mhm.
really work for me. So I
Good.
might keep doing that, which it
Perfect.
make me happy, make me joyful, and make me more positive, I think. So
Good.
yeah,
Because you guys have to remember the key is not to be happy and joyful all the time. You have to move through the grief, and you have to purge the pain, and you have to do that. You don't want to avoid and distract from that. The key is to the key is to purge the pain and then have your intentional shift, right?
right,
So
right,
that's the name of the game.
right.
So
Yeah.
good. Perfect.
Early this morning, I fell into that sadness again. I miss Matthew so much. I miss his physical body so much. And it's so hard for me to digest that I cannot see him. I try to, but I cannot yet. It just make me frustrated. That I surrender to that fact that he's not in his body anymore. So yeah,
You have
I
to remember,
cry for
Debbie, too.
hours.
You're you're gonna have to release the expectation that you're going to see him physically, though, because that may not happen. That's not really how
Right.
this works. So you need
Okay.
to release the expectation that you have of what your connection to him is going to look like, or you're going to always be disappointed. Like, I don't see Leaf in physical manifestation.
Okay.
So if that's what you're striving for, then you need to really release any kind of expectation you have of what your connection is going to look like with him, or you may always be stuck in the circle of it's not ever going to be enough. Okay.
Right.
Because
Okay.
you very well may not see him in physical. You should be able to wash an electric blanket, yes. So just be careful for setting your, sorry about that, guys. You just need to be careful for setting yourself up with that. Now you may catch glimpses of him, you may see him out of the corner of your eye, but just don't set yourself up to expect to wake up and him standing at the end of your bed. Okay. Because this relationship is very different. So you need to have realistic expectations and be open to however this relationship manifests itself. Okay.
Okay. Yes.
And you have to remember, you had a very real relationship with him when he lived across seas, right?
Right.
So realistically, you would be longing for him in physical, even if he was still in body. You did when he was still in body. So
Right.
you need to take that as a learning point that even though he's out of body now, you had that while he was in body. So that piece has not changed, correct?
Correct. Yes.
So don't just add on, well, I'm doing that now because he's dead, because you actually had that piece already when he was in body, correct?
Correct. Correct.
So remind yourself of that because it's the same as it was before in that regard, right?
Okay.
So release
Right.
the expectation because I heard you say, I want to see him. I'm waiting to see him. I can't wait for that to happen. That's an expectation. And I don't want you to set yourself up for expectations that may or may not be met because it's very different than that. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Right.
Okay. Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
Kim Woodruff, go ahead.
I kind of realized that there are so many things that I really didn't grieve in the last years. And this
Mhm.
is the first time because I'm not working, I'm recuperating, that I've really
You
gone, yeah.
you have
And
time to.
I know my counselor said she's so glad that I have this group because she thinks I'm the best I've been since she worked with me in my relationship with Austin. And that she can help me work on some of these other grieving things that are taking the place of or that I'm blaming on him.
Mhm.
And I never had, even though the divorce was welcome, it needed to grieve. Even
You
though,
still have to grieve it. Yeah.
yeah, even though my mom passed away the week before Austin, I probably haven't grieved her. So I do
Yeah.
spend some time thinking of these things. And then my sister just pretty much told me I chose to move 4.5 hours away. So don't expect, like, I was shocked that they didn't come to see me at all during the 2.5 months that I've been here, especially with the holidays. But she's always let me down. This is another thing. So I just need to learn not to have that expectation of certain people, as we all
Yeah.
have, because they're going to let you down. But I was a lot like Andrea, oldest, nurse, taking care of everybody. And then when my time comes, guess what? But also told me before he left this earth that, you've got to stop taking care of everybody else and, do yourself. And
Mhm.
I think that he's very proud of me now because I have done that. A rough
I think
situation.
Yeah, I think he is proud of you. And, Kim, I've seen you open up to people more in the program
Yeah.
from the time of Warrior Week to now. I've seen you thaw out a little bit to us and let us in a little bit more. And I think that that's big for you, I think. And I think that you're right. You've been able to, I think that the accident has been a blessing for you because you've been able to slow down enough to look at the things that you've needed to look at that you kind of just, I think you're a woman that it's like, pull yourself up, put your big girl panties on, and you pull yourself up by the bootstraps. And by God, you do what you got to do to get her done. That's how you've always struck me. And I think that the accident has made you slow down enough to soften enough to look at what you need to look at, to feel what you need to feel, and know that you're strong enough to still move through it with the tools that you're learning, and know that you're going to come out the other side, but that you got to feel it to heal it. I think is what this has afforded you. And I think that that's powerful. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
think that's powerful for you. And I think
Yeah.
that you now see that you can do that with community. You don't have to do
Right.
that alone. And
Right.
I think that learning that not to expect you from other people, while it's painful,
Okay.
it's
Yeah.
also empowering. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that this has been great for you because your whole energy has changed. And
Yeah.
while it's been like I'm stuck here at home, it's also been kind of like, oh, well, I'm stuck here at home. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it has been good. And I think that you just hit the nail on the head when you're like, I've realized that there are things that I need to grieve. But when you just said that, you didn't say it with any kind of trepidation. You said
Yeah.
it with like epiphany, like there's things that I maybe skipped that I
Yeah.
need to heal, and I have the tools to do it, so I can do it now.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's really, really empowering. It looks empowering on you.
Yeah. You'll see a different girl at Warrior Week this year.
I think I already do. I already see a different woman, and I want to add to it because I know Austin had a birthday, and happy birthday, Austin. I noticed that you had written, it's always really hard. My hope for you is that next year, if you join the program next year and we spend over the course of this next year, and you continue to work on your healing, you continue to join classes or do whatever you do with us, that my hope is that by next year, we can move you into celebrating Austin's birthday with him, and that you don't hate it, and that you can celebrate with him and enjoy his birthday with him. That is my goal for you for next year.
Okay.
And
I'll
not in a
work.
wheelchair.
I actually drove 2 days ago around the neighborhood at 20 miles an hour. So I'm getting there.
Hey, you're doing better than me. I don't drive at all. So, but yeah. So I think that you've done great. I'm really proud of you. I think that you've done phenomenal. You've opened up, you've shared, you've been present, you've been open, you've been using the tools. So I'm honored. I think that you've done an excellent job.
Well, it was glad to see some familiar faces and meet some new people.
Yeah. So way to go. Does anybody else want to share? Anybody? Anybody? Patty, go ahead.
Well, I think I did fairly well. I let my kids take over. The
I
kids,
saw. Good job.
yeah. But the thing that really threw me was Chris going into the hospital,
Mm-hmm.
and talk about the default grief. Well, that was it. I was going down the rabbit hole worrying that, oh, he's gonna leave me. He's leaving too. They left, he's leaving. I'm gonna be by myself, just worry, 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 worry. What's gonna happen? He's still
Mm-hmm.
in the hospital. A little bit better. I don't know when he's getting out, but I'm not quite as worried. And he told me, this is what you do all the time. You worry. You do this.
Oh.
He's okay enough to tell me that.
He's doing okay then, isn't he?
Yeah. Yeah. So
So did you have you let him know that you accumulated some tools to start helping with that and to be more present and grounded?
oh no, I don't tell him anything about tools. No, he's completely he thinks I'm completely nuts. And he just tolerates the woo-woo stuff.
Does he? That's okay.
But I did much better with the grief part this year. maybe because I'm
Good.
busy with this program, I did some of the tools and I let my kids handle it. They really rallied. You know, it
Perfect.
was big for me to let them come in and destroy my kitchen. You know, I spent most of yesterday cleaning.
That's
But it was
okay.
good. I have to say, when I was with them, I was fine. I was okay. You know, with a little wine too, you know, but I was okay with them. And I still continue to talk to Greg and Lauren. You know, I
Good.
still would walk and talk with them every day and invite them in. Although we
Mhm.
didn't set any places or anything, you know,
That's okay.
my kids don't deal well with it. I don't know
That's
where,
okay.
but I did very well through my daughter's anniversary and just the whole thing with Christmas and all. But I always feel sad when my kids leave.
I think that's normal. And I think that's normal if you had kids in spirit or not. There's always a bit of an emotional, anytime you have any kind of everybody comes together,
Mhm.
there's an emotional letdown after that happens, whether you're on vacation, whether that happens after Warrior Week, whether you have a family reunion or a birthday party, anytime you have any kind of coming together, a party or anything special after it's over, there's always an emotional letdown. That's just the normal part of life. You know what I mean? When
Yeah,
things go
yeah,
back to normal. And so
yeah,
I think that's normal.
yeah. So but now I have to keep myself from worrying, from going down the rabbit hole. I think I might be past it. I don't know.
So
Uh
what tools can you use to do that, Patty?
well, a rocking in the rocking chair and
Rocking in the
tapping.
rocking chair,
The
tapping,
tapping helps. Yep. Been doing some of that. Just
good.
I'm very distracted with a lot of chores. Yeah.
Okay. And
Um,
don't forget, you can always use your dancing for that too.
yeah, I'm not quite at the dancing point right now.
Okay.
I hope to get back to that.
Five
Um,
senses grounding is good for when you're worrying too and having anxiety.
yeah,
So yeah, you've got lots of tools you can use for that now.
yeah. Well, I'm really dealing with just a lot of just basics of what I have to do to take care of me and the dog. So,
Right.
um, but yeah, I I just think I did a lot better. I mean, I had some moments, but nothing that lasted very long at all. You
Well,
know,
I have to tell you, your energy is way up higher than when we started the program. Can you guys tell? Like there's your energy has a different demeanor about it. You've got a little bit of a glow to you even.
that's
Yeah,
good. That's good.
yeah.
Must have been all that wine I drank.
Got your blood vessels dilated.
Yeah, and all that food that I didn't have to cook.
Yeah, that's always a plus.
I'm still eating some leftovers. They left me some.
So
So
that's awesome.
yeah. So yeah,
Well,
I look back at it and now it's a good memory too, you know.
awesome. Absolutely. And it's a good memory with your two in spirit as well, because they got to celebrate with you and knew that you were higher vibration. And so
Yeah.
you were more closely connected with them. So
Mhm.
that's a huge win.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. A lot
I
of
love it.
the kids, I was thinking about that and being with the kids, they're young, they're millennials and one Gen Z, but they're
Mhm.
all a very positive vibe. There
Yeah.
was no Debbie Downers. They were all on a very positive vibe. So it certainly helped me not to be a Debbie Downer, you know,
Yeah.
so
That's
that
great. I love it. And Chris is going to be okay. If he's already talking about your anxiety, he's going to be
yeah,
fine. If he's
yeah,
if
he's
he's
already
already
looking at me and saying, "Look at you, look what you're doing." And then he says, "I wanted to go to the library." He says, "No, look, you no, don't go to the library. It's dark. You're gonna get, He's worried about me. getting mugged or something, going to the library in the dark by myself. So I'm like, okay, he's back.
He's back. He's fine.
He's an ornery old man.
He'll be home soon enough, busting your balls. So don't worry. Just enjoy your time there in the peace and quiet.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you all ladies for helping me keep my vibe up.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And remember, ladies, we've got 2 more sessions after this. So we're bringing in the new year still yet. Who else wants to share before I talk about our New Year's stuff?
Well, and I just want to say, even with everything that's been going on, Patty, I see such an incredible shift in you from the beginning of the program. In just the past 6 weeks, there has been a major shift. You are lighter, you're more radiant. You've really done a lot of good work in this program, and it shows.
Her and Kim both, like both of their whole facial expressions
Yeah.
have changed. Yeah,
Yep.
definitely. They both just smile now and giggle and anybody else want to share? Anybody? Anybody?
I just want to say that I'm feel kind of sad that this program is almost over. I'm gonna miss all this togetherness and all your coaching, and yep, I'm gonna miss all this.
We will do more classes. Don't worry.
Okay.
They're not
Okay,
usually
sounds
6
great.
weeks at a time, but we will do more classes.
Yeah.
Does anybody else want to share about holidays? Angie, Brenda, Lauren, not meaning to call y'all out.
But
But
I'm glad it's
Why?
over.
You're glad it's over?
Yep.
That's fair enough. It's a lot of work, man.
Yeah,
It's a lot of work.
it is.
It takes a lot of bandwidth. Even without like the grief part, it takes a lot of bandwidth,
Yep.
you know. Well, would you ladies call it a win as far as the grief part goes? Good,
I would.
good.
I would. I talked to him and his sister the whole week. I talked to them. I was great with him.
Perfect.
It was just
I'll
all
tell
the
you
other
what,
bullshit.
you've seen that meme, that says, I'd much rather talk to the dead people than the living people, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Dealing with the dead people, that they're the easy ones.
Yes. All
Yeah.
the crap came down that morning.
Yeah. I mean, it's the living people that are the assholes. So,
Yep.
So I get it. Trust me, I do. Dealing with people, with humans with egos is far more intense than, it was funny though, because, they're still on. I mean, Leaf was messing with these lights, and since the holiday was over, the lights have been fine. And then when was it? Day after Christmas on the 26th, we had Kate and her family here, and they have 2 boys in spirit. Debbie Wallace was here. She has a boy in spirit. Kat was here. She has a boy in spirit. I was here, and we have a boy in spirit. And we did our friend's Christmas, and the lights were going crazy. And some of them had stepped outside, and these smoke alarms just started going beep, beep, beep. And I just yelled out loud. I said, "Boy, enough." I said, "Enough with the bullshit." And they immediately stopped. And I was like, "That's too loud." And then they immediately stopped. I was
well,
like,
and
"Good Lord."
I don't know how many of y'all noticed it, but the meeting ID for tonight, the last 3 digits of the meeting ID was 888. So infinity, infinity, infinity.
super active.
That's
So
my special number with Matthew. We use we use that for special code 888.
the special code.
Yeah, infinity love.
So lots and lots and lots of signs. And even if you didn't get, even if you weren't aware of signs, they were sending them, So, but yeah, it's always easier until they get really loud. I was just like, guys, come on now. Like, I love that you're being loud, but I need the lights to be still. I cannot have the smoke detectors screaming. Like, they're so obnoxious. The smoke detectors are so obnoxiously loud. I'm like, good Lord Almighty. So, yeah. So I'm calling the holidays a win, huge win. Especially with the dead folk, you know. And they were when I still leveled up even with my, I do lots of generational trauma, lots of generational curse breaking, lots of inner child healing, inner child wound stuff with my parents. That is, I know my soul contract stuff with them, and it's ongoing and will be ongoing until, her last breath is taken, and then we will have a lovely relationship because she will not have an ego anymore. Then we'll have, the relationship I've always wanted with her because her massive ego will not be intact anymore. Isn't that awful?
That's funny.
But I know the truth, so there it is. But yeah, so if nobody else wants to share about Christmas, then I'm going to move on to what we're going to be doing for the next few days before New Year's. We are going to be talking about, we're not going to look at resolutions. We are going to be looking at New Year's intentions. Okay. So I am going to post some things tomorrow about New Year's intentions. There's some things that say like 2018, year 2020. Sorry, I'm stuttering a little bit, guys. The medicine I'm on now makes me stutter and lose words. So that's why I'm not quite with it. But so just disregard the years that it says, but I want you to look at those things, and I want you guys to start looking at setting the intentions that you want for your life, for your healing for 2024. I know it's going to be super quick. So you don't have to have it done by New Year's Day, but something we've done in the past, which has been really fun, is to do vision boards for the new year. I personally like to do a good old fashioned vision board that you cut and paste, but I also like pen and paper, so there's that. But if you set your intentions, you can look at printables, look at doing a vision board for 2024. You don't have to have it done by the new year. When you get it done, you can come back into the holiday program and show us a picture of it. Megan and I were talking the other day, and she actually had hers from a few years ago, the vision board that she did, and she was going to get hers back out and see what she had actually come to fruition on her vision board. So that's always fun to do, and see what you've actually had come about on your vision board. So your vision board can be things to do with your healing, things you want to come to manifestation about in your life. You know, I've had things come to fruition like cruises that I've taken, things about my healing that I wanted to do. Actually, coaching was actually on a vision board of mine many, many years ago. Like in my first year of healing or something, like grief coaching. So we're going to start with setting intention, and then I want you to take those intentions and then put them to work on a vision board. So that's what we're going to look at as we move into the new year. What we have coming up is at 12:30 on the 31st. I believe we have our end of year coaching. What we're going to do on that day is, well, real quick, talk about our intentions going in. If you have your vision board done, we can look at those, but we're going to talk about our overall program takeaways. So I want you, and before the 31st, to really sit down and write out what you felt your biggest wins and your takeaways from the holiday program was. If you would also write down what you felt we could improve upon, because that helps Kathy and I next year hone in what you feel like we could improve upon. Again, I'm sorry. I really feel like I've been absent this year a lot. Kathy said she didn't feel like I had been, but I feel like I have been. And I just feel like I've been disconnected, probably because I have had so much going on. And normally I'm so tuned into the program and I don't have a lot of other stuff going on. So maybe it's just because I've just had other stuff going on that I felt that way personally. But Kathy's like, Nikki, you're not disconnected from the program. You have the same amount of focus. But maybe it's just I feel that way because I've been so all over the map in my own personal life. I don't know. But so if you can write that stuff down, I want to discuss that on the 31st. Then on January 1st at 6:30, Kat's going to come in with us and she's going to do a New Year cleanse with us, meditation and cleanse with us, so we can start the new year with a fully cleansed energy field. And that's what that's going to look like. So give me just a minute. I'm sorry, you guys, I have to interrupt for just a minute. My landlord's here. I have to hand him off a paperwork real quick. Kathy, talk to them for just a minute about that stuff, and I'll be right back. I'm so sorry, you guys.
About what stuff?
Whatever you want. It'll take me 2 minutes.
Oh my God.
I know.
She always does this to me. And I never know what to talk about.
Coach, Kathy, coach.
But she's done this to you before, Kathy.
She did. She does. And no. So and I honestly I was only like half paying attention to what she was saying because I was doing something else too. No, what was she talking about? The session on Sunday and the intentions for next year. Is that what she was talking about?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm a terrible
The
host,
vision
right?
board.
I wasn't even. Oh my
Vision board.
God!
Right, the
I
vision
fell on my own
boards.
face. Yeah. So I think I still have my vision board from a couple years ago laying around here somewhere too. I should pull mine out and see what manifested. I know for sure I did not lose my husband on it. Isn't that terrible? I know that wasn't on my board. And then Kat is doing the reset on January 1st. I believe it is I want to say that's at 6:30, or maybe that's the one that's at noon. I'd have to look back at the schedule. And see, I don't know what she wants me to talk about, y'all. I'm like, I wasn't prepared. Y'all should look. I recommend that everybody search in your area. I had a friend of mine from my local Compassionate Friends group. Something came across her Facebook for a wine bar here in Cincinnati that had started having these events on Wednesday night. They've had 2 so far, and we've gone both times. They're calling them Wellness and Woo Wednesdays. So like we went last night, we had a group of people that we got together from our Compassionate Friends group, and we went, and it's a little, they call it a micro winery, and they bottle wines, but you can also bottle your own wine there. But they've been having, somatic healers and practitioners come in once a month. And so like last night they had a girl who does Reiki and angelic healings. So she was offering 20-minute sessions of that. And they had a tarot reader and they had an evidential medium last night. So look for events in your area and you might find something like that, or you might know practitioners in your area and you could put something together like that, because it was really fun. I did all 3 last night. I had an angelic healing session, which was really cool. And I mean, she had one of those massage chairs where you lay your face on the, like they're going to give you a back massage. And so she did the healing with me face down, because she normally does it on a table. But it was really great. And she called in Archangel Michael and Archangel Daniel and cleared out all the energy. And it was really interesting because she was able to pinpoint that I've been having trouble with my kidneys, which I do, and that I don't get a lot of sleep because of that, because I'm up going to the bathroom all night. And then I had a tarot reading and an evidential medium session. So, and they were it was only $30 for the 20 minutes with each one of them. So if you guys, a good site to look for that kind of stuff is meetup.com. And you might be able to find, sessions in your area. And I didn't find this one through Meetup, but I looked on Meetup to see if there were other things in my area. And there were, like, free meditation classes and those kinds of things. So you might find resources like that in your area, that are really affordable or even free. And that's a good way to connect with other woo-woo people. And you never know when you might find
Right.
expanding your tribe that way.
Okay, I'm back.
And it'll probably be first of the week. I'll have all the recordings of all of our sessions for the whole program moved over to YouTube, and I'll get everybody the link for the YouTube videos. So they'll be on a private YouTube channel where you can go and watch the recordings, forever and ever until YouTube takes them down, if ever. But so you'll have all the recordings that way.
Yes. And Kathy, are you going to, I mean, I can try to figure out how to do it. Are we going to be able to make something within the group for all the practitioners that we've had where they can find them to be able to book with them if they want to?
Yeah, I can put them all.
Like their links?
I can put them all on one document, and then people can download it to their device or computer if they want to.
Ooh, okay.
Or we can just make one post with all of them in the post, and just do one link per comment or whatever, and they can have them in the group as well.
Okay, that way if you guys wanted to do like breath work with Dave or get a medium reading or medium reading with Kat or also Kat sent me, she did either last year or the year before, when she did the guided meditation, she actually made the meeting spot a beach, and she wanted me to go ahead and post the link for that recording, for you, Kim, and for everybody else to see if they like the beach better. So I will post that. I'll see if I may have to send it to you, Kathy, because I don't know if I can post it the right way. I'll try to, but I don't know if it's a Zoom link. I'm not sure if it's a recording or what it is, but we'll post it. She wanted specifically, Kim, for you to try it to see if it worked for you better, because it's more of a beach setting guided thing. So we have that as well. There was something else I was gonna say. Can't remember because of Topamax. But yeah, I totally lost my entire train of thought. Rock on. Sorry, guys. I'm on new medication for too much spinal fluid on my brain, and it makes me I have some cognitive impairment from it. So
It's okay. It's all right.
Okay.
that's why the other day, when I was closing you guys out, if you noticed, I wasn't in flow as much when I was like, and the energy goes down too. Where does it go? I don't know, because I totally lost my train of thought. It's because it makes my concentration not as good as what it normally is. So doing meditation is a little bit more difficult for me on this. So yeah, good time. Okay, what was I saying? Yeah, back to New Year's stuff. So that's what we're gonna do for New Year's before Brian came, my landlord. I'm going to post stuff tomorrow. It'll just be a couple things. It'll be some guided stuff about writing out your intentions. And like I said, it can be for your healing. I want it to be for your healing. It can be your mind, body, spirit healing stuff. I want it to be about all kinds of stuff. It can be including stuff about your finances, about your body, like your health. It can be about like where you live. It can be about a new car. It can be about material things, literally about your life, about your relationships, about relationship to yourself, relationship to your child and spirit, what you want your life to look like, your professional life, your personal life, really all encompassing. Okay. So write out your intentions. Again, we're not setting these as goals. We're setting them as intentions, because remember, where intention goes, energy flows, right? And where attention goes, energy flows. So we're doing it more as an energetic, I guess you could call it an energetic goal than anything, something to aspire to work on in your healing and as you heal yourself. So that's what we want to do. And then you can get on the internet, if you have magazines or access to magazines. Do they even make magazines anymore? I don't even know if they make magazines. But I love a good old fashioned vision board where you have magazines and you cut out pictures and you cut out words and you glue them on a poster board. Like, I like that kind. But if you don't have access to magazines, you can get on the internet and you can actually find stuff to print off and you can still cut and paste them. Or you can do like an online vision board somehow. I'm sure Kathy knows how, where you take it from one page and you edit it to another page and you put it on a Word doc that's blank or something. I don't know how you do that, but I'm sure it can be done. Probably everybody here besides me knows how to do that. So you can do it that way as well. But make a vision board and then print it off and hang it where you can see it. They really are effective because you have to remember, when you put action behind intention, it increases energetic momentum. Does anybody have any questions about that? I think, Kathy, you made some vision boards not too long ago, didn't you?
Yeah, I did actual poster board ones. I downloaded pictures that I wanted and had them printed off at Walmart. Ordered them online, like ordered the prints online, because you can get 4x6 actual photos printed for, I don't know, 10 cents or some shit. And then I, did markers and glitter, and I got a little crazy with mine.
You got crafty.
Yeah. Yeah. But there are utilities you can use to do them online. If you just want to make a virtual vision board. There's a site called Canva, Canva. I think Hay House actually has a free vision board app you can put on your phone or your iPad. If you search in the app store, whichever app store you use for your phone, just search vision board, and there's a lot of different apps. I mean, some of them are paid, but there's also free ones. If you just want to do digital, I I thought it might be more powerful to do an artsy craftsy real vision board, because normally I like to do the digital ones because I can make them prettier, because that's what I do for my real job, is graphic design. So I tend to go digital with mine. Just because I'm more comfortable in that arena. and I get glitter everywhere when I do the actual real vision boards, because I have to have sparkles and glue on things, and I go a little crazy if I do the real actual vision boards.
I like a real vision board too, though, because I do think it's more effective because you're putting more, I think you put more physical action behind it. So to me, that makes sense. You know what I mean? To me, that makes sense, that you're putting more actual physical
and if you
momentum
want to
behind them.
do an actual vision board, like they have really, really cute poster boards at Walmart, is where I got mine, like ones with borders around them. And so you can get some that are kind of pre-decorated a little bit, so to speak. Musical notes, and they had flower borders and all that kind of thing. So you can kind of start with a prettier one, or they have really cool neon. If I know some of y'all are not as colorful as I am. I like colorful stuff. So you can do neon poster boards, but they have like the little nice half-size poster boards for a couple bucks at Walmart. And they sell really cool little stickers and stuff there. And the Dollar Tree. They have tons of scrapbooking stickers and stuff there, that are really fun to use on vision boards.
How many of you have done a vision board before? How many of you have done it in the holiday program? I was gonna say, Angie, you have. Andrea, you have. Okay, so that's what we're looking at. And like I said, you don't have to have your vision board done by January 1st. If you want it done by January 1st, that's fine too. Does anybody have any questions, comments, want to share anything before Kathy pulls?
No.
Anybody?
Well, if I can get the freaking unmute button here. Thank you. That's all I need to say. Thank you for your guidance. Thank you for this. Thank you.
You're
That's all
welcome.
I have to say.
I really hope that you will take the next 2 days and do what we've told you to do. If you do not, I'm going to message you and probably give you a tongue lashing, just so you're aware. And then I will message
Yes.
Kathy and I will ask her to message you and give you a tongue lashing again because you're stubborn
And
as
you're
hell.
safe from her driving over there, Andrea, because she doesn't drive, so she's not going to show up on your doorstep.
I'm safe on that one. Oh shit.
Although Kate is in town and Kate does drive, so
Oh shit. Well, South Florida might be welcoming you.
although right now, what, you're 4 hours away, you're near Miami, right?
I am about an hour and a half north of Miami. Yeah.
Oh, so you're actually not 4 hours from me. You're actually
A little bit
2.5
less.
hours from me.
Yeah, that's scary.
Yeah, that means my brain could probably be in a car for 2.5 hours. So you better get your shit done, girl.
No, I will. I will. Thank you. Thank you.
Anybody else? Sorry. We're like the grief healing mafia.
I wanted to tell you, I got oracle cards in our Secret Santa with my kids. We did
Awesome.
we did the like white elephant, and I got a salt lamp and oracle card, so I was happy to get that too.
So they know
Nice.
that you're into the woo woo, don't they?
Well, I'm not too sure. My son's girlfriend is very much into like witchy stuff like that. So
Oh,
I mean, I see she's got the sage and crystals and such. So she's into that.
nice.
So I was glad to see that. I was like, oh, I picked the right one.
Yeah, spirit led it right to your lap, didn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah. I wanted
Nice,
to tell you
nice.
guys.
Love it.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Well, just so you guys know, I want to thank you for sticking with us through this. I'm really, really proud of all of you. Um, I think it's been a wonderful program. There's been so much progress through this, and like I'm just ecstatic about how great you guys all did through the holidays. I mean, to see the shifts and the change, and Brenda, you finally decorating this year, and Lauren, you taking the jump and coming and joining us this year after not really being sure about wanting to do it, and Debbie's first year, and just the people that keep coming back and the shifts that we've seen. Like, I'm just really proud of all of you. And it's always an honor to be with you guys, and that you've stuck it out and you've stuck with it, and you always commit to being here with us. And if you're not here, you watch the recordings, and it's just an honor for Kathy and I to do it. And I appreciate your patience with me and how ragged I've looked. I mean, I am aware that I look ragged and exhausted this year. I'm completely aware of that. So thank you for the non-judgment on that end. Um, me and my 3-day-old bun and the bags under my eyes. So I appreciate that. So I just appreciate that you guys have stuck with it, and it really is an honor for Kathy and I to walk with you during the holidays. And just know that it inspires us to be able to watch you guys make it a win. Like, that's what keeps us doing this work. is to be able to see you guys come out the other side smiling. And for when we do the check-ins on Christmas Eve and Christmas, and to hear you guys say, we got this, we're doing it. It's, we're not in bed crying. We're not down in the depths of it. Or to even hear you guys say, we're good with our kids. It's our damn fucking families that are driving us crazy. Like, we're like, hey, that's a win. We're like, woohoo, that's a win. It's the alive people that are driving them insane. It's not the grief, it's the crazy in-laws or the crazy spouses or whatever. So, you know, I think that that's amazing. I want you guys to take a moment and be proud of yourselves, because all too often in this journey, the people around you have absolutely no idea the battle that you've won. They don't. They don't know what you've trudged through to make it to this day out the other side of these last few months. They don't know the constant daily battle that you've fought within your own brain and your own heart. You know, the hustle and bustle, the people in the stores, the bell ringers, the shoppers, the coworkers, none of them know the absolute strength that it's taking you to just take the next step forward. Nobody else understands that. Everybody else thinks you're just doing okay, gliding along. I understand that. Kathy understands that. Your spouses may not, your friends may not, your parents may not, your siblings may not, your own surviving children may not. We do. I want you to take a moment in the upcoming few days, and I want you to really sit and revel in being proud of yourself and giving yourself props on what you've done. Because this is no small feat, you guys. I don't care if the rest of the world sees it or not. We see it. We see you. And it's a big fucking deal. You're a big deal. Okay? It's a big deal. There are a lot of mamas out there that don't do this and don't make this kind of progress. And they don't make this kind of leaps and bounds in their healing. And they never get to feel this kind of peace and joy and connection. It's a big deal, you guys. And you're doing it. And you've done it. That's a win. Okay?
Thank you.
Be proud of you.
Thank you.
I'm proud of you. And most importantly, your kids are so proud of you. And just keep going with it. Okay? And when the
Thank you.
world doesn't seem to see you, we see each other. And we know how hard it is, but we see each other. Okay? And we got each other, and we're just going to keep on going and keep on knowing that sometimes each step is hard, but we've lit the path together, and we'll just keep on walking it. And we
And y'all
walk.
didn't wind up here by chance.
Nope.
Yeah, no.
In this program, in this group, in this family that we're building, our tribe, you didn't wind up here by chance. It's divinely guided that you wound up here. You're meant to be here. You're meant to do this. Spirit has tapped you on the shoulder and said, this is the way you need to go. And you have the choice to listen, because sometimes I don't listen. God knows. But it's, don't be like Kathy, where Spirit has to poke you in the forehead and say, oh, Kathy, you're here for a reason. And you're choosing to follow that reason. And that's really, really, really powerful.
Hard work, guys.
Yeah.
But look at
Thank
where
you.
you're at.
Thank you.
Deep breath, guys, because you're on the other side of this hurdle. You got to look at your measured progress. You just had a huge win. This could have been a terrible, terrible, terrible holiday season. Was it terrible?
Mm-mm.
No.
Nope. Easy breezy. We did it. It's done. Now we'll start a new year fresh and we'll heal even more. And next year will be even better. We can do hard things because we've done the hardest. Everything else, Andrea, everything else
It's
is
cake.
easy. Everything else is cake. Everything else is easy breezy. We are brave. We can do hard things. Okay? We got this. All right, Kathy. What card do we have? Oh, yes,
Okay.
Brenda.
You know, it was amazing when we did the exchange for the kids. You know, with the kids exchanging and everything. It
Mhm.
was an amazing feeling, and it's just when he kept telling me, "That's what you have to get. That's what I told you to get." Back and forth arguing over it. It was just amazing how me and the kids were getting all this together to do this.
And you were worried.
I was big time.
And how good does it feel to get a gift from your kiddo? You thought you'd never get one again. And here we are.
I only got one time, and that was before he got sick.
Not anymore.
No, no, it felt good.
And keep in mind, you guys, there is no more not making any new memories with your kids. You did it this whole season. You're going to continue to do it because they're not dead at all. They're just different. Invisible with superpowers.
Mhm.
Okay? So you leave here now. In the new year, you're going to leave here with that new perspective, and you're just going to keep living your life with your kid beside you in a new way. And they mind a lot better this way. Remember, they're a lot easier to deal with than the living. And no, we'll say they're a lot easier to deal with than the embodied. We won't even say the living. We'll say the embodied. You know. So just remember that. And they're cheering you on. Andrea, ask for his help. Call in your higher ups. Ask for their help. You don't have to do this alone. Okay? All right, Kathy. You're up,
Okay.
girlfriend.
I'm going to draw tonight from the Rainbow Warrior activation deck. So we'll see what we got.
That's awesome, Kim.
Okay, we got number 20, and that's what it looks like. These cards, I love the artwork on these cards, but they don't have like names on them. They just have numbers. So then I have to look it up to see what it is. Okay. Number 20 is freedom. And the keywords are rebel, choice, awareness, rejoice, movement, enslavement, release. Freedom is a way of life we choose for ourselves or offer to another. World history is littered with instances of the enslavement of people or the subjugation of ideas, as well as the stealing away of possibility or the denial of opportunity. Ultimately, however, we are charged with the responsibility of releasing ourselves from the bondage by which we are imprisoned. Attachment is a powerful dynamic we use to learn cooperation with the outer world. Detachment teaches independence of the inner world. True freedom, however, comes from transcending both, embracing a position defined by the complete acceptance of and the total surrender to the circumstances at hand. This spiritual concept may feel a lot like apathy, but in truth, it is the purest form of love and compassion. From what do you need to free yourself? How can you live in freedom?
Interesting. freedom goes right along with the big S. Surrender. That's the name of the game right there. I forgot I have to tell you guys something funny. On what was it? When we met last, what was it? The night before Christmas Eve, the coaching we had right before Christmas. And right before we got off, I said, all right, let's fucking do this. Do you remember that? My parents were sitting in here in the living room, and my mother does not like Nikki's authentic self. I will tell you this. And I said that, and she was sitting beside me, and she looked over at me and gasped. And I got off the phone. She said, I cannot believe you just said that to your clients. And I said, my clients are used to that. And I said, actually, my clients love that. And I said, when I teach a class, the first thing I say to my clients is, I'm going to say the F bomb and I'm going to chew on my Nicorette gum. And if you don't like either of those things, I'm probably not the grief coach for you. And she just said, oh, Nikki, that is so bad. And I said, I'm the most unprofessional grief coach there is. And that's my liability waiver. And the ones that don't like it leave. And the ones that like it love me or hate me. And that's about where I stand. Yeah. So I got a big, huge lecture from my mom when I got 46 years old. And I got a big, huge lecture on how to coach my clients when I got off the phone with you guys.
I understand. Totally
So,
understand.
that was a good time.
Yeah.
I just thought I would share that with you. That's a little bit
Yes.
of what I was dealing with over Christmas. So yeah.
Mm.
So I forgot to tell you guys that. I thought it was a little funny little tidbit though. I'm gonna go out here to do my closing. That way if my dogs freak out or if Omri comes in or whatever, I'm gonna go out to my garage. Okay, I'm gonna try to do my closing with you guys without trailing off into oblivion on my medication. This should be fun. Okay. Don't forget to do your Zoom takeaways. I will post for those and I'll tag everybody. And then we meet again on the 31st at 12:30, right afternoon. And then again on the 1st at 6:30 p.m. And that will be our last meeting. And like Kathy said, everything will be put up on the YouTube for you guys to watch all the recording. And then after that, I don't know when we'll hold the next class. I usually take a few weeks off to recharge, which I'm definitely going to have to do because of the fluid on my brain. I sprung a leak, CSF leak. I keep saying I sprung a leak. And then, and if you're interested in private coaching, you can also message me and talk to me about that. So other than that, everybody take a nice big deep breath in and exhale. And repeat after me. Archangel Michael,
Archangel Michael,
Archangel Azrael,
Archangel Azrael,
Azrael,
please come down.
please come down.
Cut all energetic cords
Cut all energetic cords
all energetic cords
that drain me,
that drain me,
that trigger my ego,
that
Trigger my ego.
that trigger my anger,
that trigger my
Trigger my anger.
that trigger my pain body,
that trigger my
Trigger
pain
my
body,
pain body.
that trigger my inner child wound,
that trigger
Trigger
my
my inner child wound.
that trigger my generational trauma,
That
That
trigger my
trigger
generational trauma.
that spin me into default grief,
That spin me into default grief.
that do not serve my highest purpose and my healing.
that do
That
not
do
serve
not serve my highest purpose and my healing.
Please surround and protect me
Please
Surround and protect me.
in divine, white, loving light.
in divine light.
Divine light, light.
Thank you. So it is.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
and so it is.
Yeah.
Nice deep breath in. Exhale. Get those hands moving. Get some energy flowing through there. Clap. Move your hands around. Palms up, arms out. Close your eyes. Deep breath in. Exhale. And say, I call all of my divine power back to me now.
Call all my
All
divine power back to me now.
I want you to see those beams of light coming in from each other, from all over the world. If you've been online, I want you to get really strong visuals of those beams of light that are your power coming in from those family members, those spouses, those people that you have been triggered by, friends, family, co-workers, anybody you've been in contact with, all those beams of light, the power that you've given away or exchanged, coming in, meeting together at the palms of your hands, where they melt together, they converge together and start spreading through your body in the palms of your hands. Watch as that light melts into the palms of your hands, spreading through each and every finger. Take note of the color as it spreads down into the wrist, melting into the upper arm, to the elbow, maybe into the shoulder. Might start to feel hot or flushed, might feel tingly. Spreads into the chest, to the neck, to the head, to the chin, up to the hip, nose, to the eyes, the third eye, to the crown chakra, open, breath in, to exhale, back down to the neck and to the upper chest as it moves down to the mid chest region, opens the heart, moves down through the body, through the lungs, opens the chest space, take note of the color again, as it fills the body, to the lower chest, moving through each chakra, you can feel it light up as it moves into the upper abdomen. Again, feel the heat, goes down to the lower abdomen, removing inflammation, we diffuse to the hips, moving grief, stagnant energy into the buttocks, to the upper thigh, making its way down to the mid-thigh, towards the knee, and down to the lower leg, calf, down towards the ankle, to the heel, feet, spread feet, like say to the tip, toes, single soft toe. Deep breath in, exhale, step out of your body, turn and look. I want you to feel your body glowing. your divine power that you've taken back in every exchange, every engagement, from every person that you've interacted with, every person that's been triggered by, that's taken your power away from, called it back to its source as your own. Take note of the color, what connects you to self, to your source, to your child. Get back into your body. Feel the warmth, gratitude. And so it is.
Thank you. So it is.
So it is.
All right, ladies. I'm going to post now for Zoom takeaways. I will see you on the 31st. I don't know what today is, to be completely honest. So I will see you in a few days.
Sunday.
Today's
Okay.
Sunday? No, today's, what is this? Friday?
Thursday. Today's Thursday. The 28th.
I'm a hot damn mess. I know today's the 28th. What is today? Thursday? Oh,
Thursday.
the week between Christmas
So
and
the-
New Year's is it's like a black hole. So I will see you guys Sunday. And until then, if you need me, you know where to reach me. I'll post everything up tomorrow for the intention stuff. Be working on your intentions and your vision board stuff, and we will meet again Sunday. Until then, use your tool, keep your vibration high. Andrea, you have your assignment, and we will see you soon.
Bye,
you,
everybody.
thank
Good
you.
night.
Bye.
Good night,
Bye bye.
ladies.
Good
night,
night,
thank
everybody.
you.
Thanks.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Bye.